Welcome back to the Ascension Parish Political Forum, sponsored by the Ascension Chamber of Commerce, ETEL, and Cox Communications. We're now moving on to the forum for the race for the parish presidency. At this time, we have both parish president candidates with us, and just as before, they will be given an opportunity to answer questions during the question and answer session, and then we will move on to the closing statements. I would like to introduce our candidates for Ascension Parish President. First, we have Mrs. Catherine Goppelt. She has been active in our community for the past 15 years. She's married to Louis and has been so for 27 years, and together they have 4 sons and 1 daughter. Catherine graduated with honors in 1972 from Iowa State University with a degree in education and has taught in private schools both in the United States and abroad. She was instrumental and worked with local officials in 2002 to pass an ordinance to regulate adult businesses. Ascension was the first parish in Louisiana to do so. Mrs. Goppelt served on the Republican State Central Committee from 2004 to 2007. She is known for her strong work ethic, conservative beliefs, and knowledge of the issues in local government. Ms. Goppelt, welcome to our forum today.
Thank you, Matt.
We also have Mr. Tommy Martinez. Tommy was a police juror and then elected the parish's first parish president in 1994. He served a 2-year term, followed by a 4-year term, and then was elected again in 2008. In 2000, Governor Mike Foster appointed Tommy as the first legislative liaison for the Department of Transportation and Development. Tommy has been honored as a Citizen of the Year by the Donaldsonville Chamber of Commerce, Louisiana Public Hospital Award, and Friends of Vietnam Veterans. He's a member of the NRA, the Gonzales Rotary Club, the Holy Rosary Catholic Church, and a sponsor of Ducks Unlimited. Tommy is married to Teresa Maischke and has been so for 35 years. They have 3 children and 6 grandchildren. Mr. Martinez, welcome to our forum.
Thank you, Matt, and thanks to the Chamber for putting this on.
Thank you. We will present each of you with questions. You will have 90 seconds to respond to each question. We will alternate the order of the questions, who responds first, so that each of you will get an opportunity to respond first and second to the questions. Ms. Goppelt, you will answer our first question first.
Yes.
Are we ready to proceed?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Goppelt, our first question is this. What specific actions will you take to help existing Ascension Parish businesses create additional job growth in our area?
Okay. I think the number one thing we need to work on is our sewer, because a lot of businesses do not come to Ascension Parish because we don't have sewer. So we definitely need to execute a plan for sewer, and we need to identify areas where we can have business. We have some light industry or business out Highway 30. I do not know what other areas we have designated. We don't have light industrial yet. They're working on that designation, zoning designation. So we need to identify areas in the parish. I'm sure we can use the Ascension Economic Development Corporation to do that. Areas that business could come to. And we do need to add a light industrial in our zoning, so we can bring in not just service businesses, but businesses that can actually make products to sell. So I do want to encourage business, but I think we can't just encourage it. We actually need to get the infrastructure in place to encourage them to come into our parish. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goppelt. Mr. Martinez, what specific actions will you take to help existing Ascension Parish businesses create additional job growth in our area?
Well, Matt, as you know, Ascension Parish, small as it is 9th in the nation now in creating new jobs. I think that speaks highly of our Economic Development Corporation that was created about 4 years ago. We need to continue to work with that group and, as Ms. Goppelt earlier stated, create some zoning that will be more friendly user to our businesses. Infrastructure-wise, we can work with them, but we need to look at getting more and more incentive types so we can compete on a national level and also on a state level. We have a lot of jobs, especially in our industrial corridor, that we lose to Texas and Mississippi and sometimes to Alabama because we don't have quite enough incentives here. So the state is working real hard. Governor Jindal, we were at Ormet yesterday. There was 250 new jobs that were created by the reopening of Ormet. So those are the type things. And Tommy Kurtz, who was the head of economic development here in Ascension Parish, now works for the Louisiana Economic Development Corporation. So he's very familiar with our area. And so he helps us in encouraging businesses to move to Ascension Parish and in this area.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez, you get to answer our second question. A comprehensive parish water and sewer system has been discussed for years, with funding often prohibiting its implementation. What is your assessment of the progress of providing sewer and water to all parish residents, and what is your plan to continue this forward movement?
Well, Matt, recently we were awarded a $17 million grant for sewer in Ascension Parish by DEQ. It's a low-interest grant. It's 0.9% interest. The plan is to consolidate all the local small plants, package plants that each subdivision has. There's over 200 of those plants in Ascension Parish now. We need to look at that because in 3 years, DEQ's what we can discharge into our streams will be limited a lot more than it is today. And we encourage all businesses at this point to go ahead and get their DEQ certificate before they apply for building permits here. But the plan is to consolidate the package plants that each subdivision has. We need to work with Mr. Tom Pertry and also with MODAD. We've been in discussions with MODAD. They have about 1,600 customers. To make it feasible to pay the loan back and to make it something that we can actually do and pay for, we need about 7,000 customers. So we have 1,600 with MODAD, and if we can pick up another 5,400, that's what we need to do from Mr. Pertry and then eventually buy out his whole system. Now, we basically need to do it in the northern sector of the parish where there's a lot of density and where it would be feasible. So that's basically what we're working on, everything east of the airline.
Ms. Coppell, a comprehensive parish water and sewer system has been discussed for years, with funding often prohibiting its implementation. What is your assessment of the progress of providing sewer and water to all parish residents, and what is your plan to continue this forward movement?
Okay. The Corps had a plan, and 18% of the people that are in the parish would not have received any services. It's just too far away from the central location of the northern sections. In order to make this plan feasible, we have to have 39,000 users. So it makes sense to go to the most densely populated areas to get these users. Right now, we're thinking of 17 regional sewer treatment systems. And the question is how to make an organization that will work, not bankrupt the government, and yet serve the citizens. And we now operate 5 systems, the parish does. And 3 or 4 years ago, Bert Falk, our auditor, told the council that they were going to be bankrupt if they kept going the way they were going. So my concern is we want to provide the service, but we don't want to bankrupt the parish. What kind of an arrangement can we have? They tried the private-public partnership, and that fell through. I think the government needs to do everything it can to help Mr. Pertweet and others that are working the sewer now to make sure that the systems go up and meet the standards of the DEQ. And it is definitely something we're going to be working on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is for you, Ms. Coppell.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation and traffic are huge concerns in our parish. Short of disallowing new residents and businesses to the area, list your top action items to improve the present situation.
Okay, I believe that one of the things we need to do first is address Highway 42. This is very congested, and we know that it's about 10 years down the road before it's actually going to be completed. But what we can do in the interim is to take intersection improvements, and especially at 42 and Walgreens, there is a possibility that we could work on an intersection. I don't think we need to have another master transportation plan. We need to take the money that we would have put in that plan. We need to invest it in infrastructure, go to the DEQ, talk with their engineers, find out the specifications of what they're going to be building, and then put the money there, build the intersection improvements now to give some relief for traffic. And then when the road comes down, it'll fit like a hand in a glove in that intersection. We can do spots like this that will help. And they also have 15 intersections that they've identified. 8 of those have been funded, and 7 have not. And I think we need to take what money we have and go to the DEQ and say, look, we want to add money and try to get these other 7 intersections on the books and start doing the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coppell. Mr. Martinez, transportation and traffic are huge concerns in our parish. Short of disallowing new residents and businesses to the area, List your top action items to improve the present situation.
Well, we're currently working with the state on Highway 73. That is a main artery that has a lot of congestion. That project has been funded. It's about $15 million. The parish is actually putting up $3 million for the sewer, so that'll work hand in hand with the plan that we're talking about for sewer. Highway 42, we've been working on Highway 42 since my first term. We started about 1995. We've had several plans there. It's finally becoming a reality. There's about $12 million that's in the pot now that has been allocated for that project. DOTD is currently buying the right-of-way and actually moving the utilities. There's another $4 million that's recently been allocated to continue with that second part of it. And there's been guarantees the entire project is going to be about $38 million, and that money is being guaranteed by the state in the future years. So hopefully it won't be 10 to 12 years. Hopefully we can get that project off and running in about 4 years. The other thing is I've been working the past 6 months with DOTD officials, and we are looking at what it would take to leverage. If the parish would put up a bond, $80 million, we got about $320 million worth of needs here in the parish. So that plan is actually going to be made available to the public by DOTD in the near future. It's an innovative plan. We've been working on it. We're going to be the first parish to hopefully implement it, a plan of its sort. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Our next question is for you to answer first.
Yes.
We've learned the hard way over the past 6 years how important emergency management can be. How would you presently rate our Parish Office of Emergency Preparedness Department? And what additional resources would you like to see allocated to provide improved responses in future disasters?
Well, OEP, I think Ascension OEP is the best OEP office in the state of Louisiana, bar none. I think our director, Mr. Rick Weber, has won numerous awards. That department has won numerous awards. My first year in office, Gustav hit. We were prepared. We did everything properly. You're not seeing the problems that Livingston Parish is seeing now with the debris removal. OEP picked that ball up, ran with it. We were actually a model for the rest of the parishes when it came to debris removal. So I'm very proud of our OEP department. I think it ranks up there. I think Rick's done a wonderful job. We've gotten several $1 million worth of grants in the last few years, and it's actually saved the taxpayers money. And we worked well with the Sheriff's Department, with the fire departments. As I said, if there's ever an emergency in Ascension Parish, we will be ready. And the Chamber also worked very closely with us in a leadership program. We now have an oxygen trailer that we can utilize in the event of a disaster, which was one of the main needs that we had before. We also have a mass casualty bus that will become very, very important in the event that there's high water. We can go into some flooded areas and help these people and remove them and get them their help as quickly as possible. So again, I just want to take hats off to our OEP department. I think it's the best in the state of Louisiana, probably one of the best in the nation.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Ms. Coppelt, we've learned the hard way over the past 6 years how important emergency management can be. How would you presently rate our Parish Office of Emergency Preparedness Department? What additional resources would you like to see allocated to provide improved response